As international visits go, I'm sure this is one for the books. Challenger 2 tanks crushing cars to show just how powerful this military weapon can be. As part of his visit, Defence Secretary Ben Wallace was treated to a show of force. With the aim to impress, it seems the troops here certainly struck a chord with the Secretary of State. But you can't take the man out the military. Ben Wallace once served and actually holds a tank licence. So while watching was an experience, it wasn't quite close enough to the action for the Defence Secretary, as he soon got kitted up and sat passenger inside this Challenger 2. And here he comes inside the British Army's main battle tank.
I've trained in a tank, so I love it. I mean, they're great. Yeah, there's something solid. You definitely feel you could go anywhere. So I think. You don't really notice the car.
No. The first time we played around with this, the troops, when we hit the first few cars, everyone was kind of like, have we done it?
The thing with the tank is you really want to be sticking out the top, having a look at it all, but half the time you can't. So.
Within his packed agenda over the two-day visit, 8 Rifles served up a festive lunch. It wasn't your usual Christmas celebration, but then this isn't a year for normalities. The Defence Secretary arrived at a decked-out canteen and sat with British and Estonian troops who are on deployment as part of Operation Cabrit. With many events cancelled and trips postponed, this one, however, managed to go ahead, with the importance of boosting morale amongst the armed forces, many of whom will be spending Christmas here, thousands of miles from family and loved ones.
Our troops here are at a very, very high readiness. That's an extremely strong commitment to the defence of NATO and also the defence of Estonia. And when you're at such readiness for months at a time, it's important to understand what the troops go through and all the stresses and strains that's put on equipment. So I thought it's important to come. It's important also for me to work closely with the Baltic states. Estonia is often on the front line when there is Russian aggression, and I think it's very important that we show that solidarity.
I think it's a really big thing. The Defence Secretary came out to visit us. He shows us that he cares and he's concerned and he's interested in what we do as forces and not just using the title as a job and actually getting down to the level of which we are at, seeing what we do on a day-to-day basis away from our families, because at the end of the day we give up our family life and stuff back home to come out here and do this for the bigger picture. For him to come out here and visit us, it means a lot.
More than 800 British troops are on deployment here to strengthen the Euro-Atlantic security with NATO allies. Currently, 8 Rifles are leading the multinational battle group and are halfway through their deployment before they hand over to 1st Battalion, the Mercian Regiment, in April.
We've been out here for coming up 3 months now. This is actually my 3rd tour out here. I was out here last year at the same sort of time and on Cabrit 1. Kind of stuff we've been doing out here on this tour. We've done 3 exercises in 3 different countries. We done an exercise in Estonia to begin with, and then we did an exercise in Latvia, which was also, we did a live firing package out there as well. And then we did a light roll exercise in Lithuania.
It's been really good and thoroughly enjoyable working with the Estonians and other NATO nations to learn from the tactics and the way they operate and do things. And then we've also had the opportunity to teach them our tactics and how we work together, including how our different kind of radios will work together and how we can achieve the mission at the end of the day.
With Russia quite literally on Estonia's doorstep, British troops are deployed here as part of the Enhanced Forward Presence battle group so that they can quickly and efficiently respond to any neighbouring threats. With Russia continuing to flex its military muscle close to the Estonian border, it seems the threat here continues, and one that shouldn't be underestimated, says Mr. Wallace.
I think we should be concerned at the moment by the Russian government's tendency towards not only flexing its military muscles, but in some cases either using it, like we saw on the streets of Salisbury, using nerve agent, or indeed using sub-threshold activities like cyber on our own systems, but also our friends and allies. And you know, one of the reasons we're in Estonia is to reassure and help reinforce effectively Estonia's efforts to make sure that its sovereignty is respected and NATO's front line is respected. And you know, all of that means that we should never underestimate Russia. With the poisoning of Navalny, the opposition leader, with activity in Belarus, we should all be concerned. And I think the best way to send a message as Russia is solidarity, which is what we saw after the Salisbury poisoning. We're here to show solidarity with the Baltic states, and we'll continue to do so.
Having arrived on a C-17 Royal Air Force aircraft, a convoy escorted the Secretary of State for Defence through Tallinn. After some important meetings at the British Embassy in Estonia and then a press conference at the Estonian MOD, Mr. Wallace went on a walking tour of parts of the old town of Tallinn. Because of COVID, many British troops won't be able to enjoy their time off back at home, making this deployment one of sacrifices, as they can't leave Estonia until the job is officially done. That is, unless the world goes back to a sense of normality. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.